In this video, I'm going to be doing another Lightroom edit, and this one is going to be how I edited my cinematic series, a Dark Savannah series photos, because some of you guys have asked for it, so here it is. It was actually very simple. I shot this set with my Fuji X-E1, and this particular photo that I'm going to edit for you today was actually shot with the 35mm f1.4, and I believe it was shot at f1.4 at 50th of a second and ISO 100, so it did a pretty good job. But I did have to work a little bit in post to get this darker look. Now I'll show you the before and the after. As you can see, the before is much brighter than the final look. I could have underexposed just a little bit to get it closer to this final look, but it was more of a spontaneous sort of thing. I was, going around the city trying to get some shots, and it was really late at night, so I was moving pretty quickly. So I could have gotten it closer to the final image in the camera itself, but I still got my results, so I'm happy. So let's go back and let's reset the image. So the first thing you'll notice is I actually cropped this photo to 16:9, which you can set right here, and I straightened it slightly. So you'll want to straighten the picture, and then I cropped it. So that's the first thing I did. And then what I did with the exposure was I didn't really touch the exposure too much. I mainly played with the highlights. I dropped the highlights a lot, -60. I dropped the shadows to around -50. And as you can see, it's already getting that darker look. The blacks, -10. So it did get a little bit darker. I'm going to rotate this just a little bit more. Just straighten that. And then I didn't touch the clarity, vibrance, or saturation, but I think I'll try a -10 here. Just as it didn't really do too much, but that's what you can do that. You don't have to. And the tone curve is something I've been using a lot lately to adjust my contrast. So rather than doing the contrast on this basic panel, I just do the tone curve, and I either do medium contrast or strong contrast. For this one, I'm going to do medium, and it actually got really dark, but that's okay. The next thing I did was split toning. I do this very often now, so you'll see a lot of my photos with this sort of look. I used this middle color, the sort of light reddish brownish color in between the yellow and the blue. And then for the shadows, I picked the lighter blue right here. Detail, I always sharpen my photos quite a bit actually, because I print a lot of them. And this particular one I did print, so that's why I sharpened it quite a bit, around that much. When you sharpen, you should actually sharpen at 1:1, so you can really see what's going on with your photo, but I sort of know what settings that I use usually, so that's why I don't really look at it all the time, but in specific photos I do, in certain photos I do get in really close just to see what I'm doing. Lens correction was left the same, and then effects. With the vignette, I did around -20, just to get that look. I didn't touch the midpoint or the roundness too much, but this is essentially the shot that I got. Actually, lastly, I moved my temperature slightly to the cooler side, just a little bit, to give it that cooler look. So not too much. And there you have it. That was my shot. So you also might be wondering how I got that, the look of, the black boxes. And what I usually do when I print is, I change the file size a little bit in Photoshop. So I'll just open this shot in Photoshop to show you what I did. So let's just wait a little bit for the shot. So now we're in Photoshop. I go to image, and then image size. And what I usually do is I do 300 pixels per inch, and then for width, or for whatever the longest side is, I do 3600 pixels. So that gives me a 12-inch longer side, and that's the size that I usually print. The longer side is 12 inches. So I usually do that first. So I change my file size, and the next thing I do is I go to image, and then I go to canvas size, and that's what I did with this photo. With the height, I added 2 inches, and I click relative. What relative does is it adds the 2 inches into the photo. If you unclick relative, then you actually have to change the whole thing to, you have to tell it what the full proportions of the image should be. So I usually do relative, so you just tell it what to add. So it adds 2 inches to the height, and right now it's distributed equally, so it's going to go distributed equally on the top and to the bottom. So it's going to put 1 inch on the top and the bottom. If I did this, it would all go up. If I did this, it will all go down. But I leave it in the center, and the canvas extension, you tell it what it's going to be. And so I'm just going to leave it at black to get those black bars. Now this isn't how, like movie, it is sort of a cinematic effect, but with movies, you do get the 16 by 9 aspect ratio, but those letterbox blocks, I guess, they're within that 16 by 9 ratio to get an even wider look. But I chose to do it this way so that it wouldn't get too wide, and it would sort of be in between the the cinematic realm as well as like just a photographic image overall. So that's it, guys. After this, you just save the photo. You can, if you click save right now, it goes back into Lightroom, or you can do save as to save it wherever your final destination is. But this is basically my photo. I'm going to save it so that I can open it back in Lightroom. And here it is in Lightroom. There you have it, guys. Wait, I'll show you again. There you have it. That's my final photo, and this is how I edited my Dark Savannah cinematic photos with a Fuji X-E1 series photos. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Like the video, favorite the video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.